It's got full suspension, a torque sensor, and a 1000 watt motor. One unique thing about this electric bike is it has an option to connect an inverter. Here is the port to connect the inverter. And basically what that means is you can use this e-bike as a power station, like if you're off the grid, out in the wild. You can actually charge this thing with solar panels. On paper it looks like a pretty interesting bike, but let's crack it open and see what it's made of. This one comes in the red color, but it's also available in yellow and camouflage, which you can see in the link below this video. And probably one of the most significant things on this e-bike is the 4-link rear suspension with a DNM AOY36RC adjustable rear suspension. Here's your compression and rebound adjustments, and you can also adjust the amount of air in the air shock. This is gonna make for a super plush ride. I've tried a very similar 4-link suspension on a DNM shuck on other e-bikes, and it rides very, very nice. We can see the Obsidian is powered by a hub motor here by this connector, and it has a Mokwheel branded 1000 watt rear hub motor. That hub motor is powered by a frame integrated battery, which you can either charge on the bike or off the bike. To charge it on the bike, you use this port, and if you want to connect the inverter, here is the port to connect the inverter. Battery is pretty darn sizable. To be specific, it is 19.6 amp hours, basically 48 volt nominal voltage, 925 watt hours of energy. They say you can get 60 to 80 miles out of this battery. We'll see what I actually get on our 18-mile ride here in a few. To charge that battery, well, here's the tools and the manual. You use this charger, which is a 3 amp charger. So 20 amp hours divided by 3 amps. That'd take a little bit under 7 hours to charge from empty to full. Fortunately, the battery comes mostly charged. So while we build it, we'll top it off and that'll turn green. Comes with a tail light that will turn on with batteries. However, there is a USB port on the side of it. Not sure if that's to power things or to take power. It's got a wired headlight and an extra set of brake pads. And speaking of brakes, we get Tektro hydraulic on the rear as well as the front, and the rotors are Tektro with 180 millimeter rotors. Should make for some excellent stopping power while you're sitting on your wide saddle, which does have a quick release lever for easy adjustments, and there's even some markings on the back of the seat post. With this seat sitting on this rear suspension in combination with this front suspension, which is adjustable with micro adjustments, should make for a very comfortable ride. And of course, to further insulate you from any bumps in the road, you get these knobby 4-inch wide by 26-inch tall wheels. Handlebars go here. They are relatively flat, just a little bit of rise, and they come back just a bit. Mokwheel always gives us these ergonomic grips with this little extra padding thing here for your palm. Thumb throttle on the left, controls, we'll get the display on in a moment, and 8 gears on the Shimano shifter. Tektro levers to match the Tektro brakes. Personally, I like these levers. Kickstand goes here. Front axle goes on with a nut, no quick release lever up here. Fenders are plastic, which are a little less loud than metal fenders, and also usually lighter. We get metal pedals, they have little grips in them. The bike is rated to carry 400 pounds, and the bike itself weighs 77 pounds. Ugh. Here's a better look at the other side of the suspension and how you would adjust the air in the air shock if you wanted to. Frame is stamped as class 2, 20 miles per hour, 1000 watt. Pretty sure it goes faster than that though. We'll find out soon, and there is a medium crank up front for we'll see if it can keep up with 28 miles an hour. We get 8 gears on the Shimano cassette, 1 more than typical. There is an Altus derailleur. Careful not to knock the bike over because there is no derailleur guard installed. Battery should be about fully charged. Pops right on. Here's the other side of the inverter plug on the battery. So let's get this thing powered up. Oh, there's a horn button down there. Let's turn on the power though. Hello. So we get a color display. Battery life is expressed in these bars right here, 10 bars on the side. And we get, of course, 5 levels of pedal assist. There is a torque sensor on this bike as mentioned earlier. Oh, so it says eco mode there. Let's try the horn. Ah, nice. It's not that loud. It's like pedestrian friendly loud, not gonna hurt your ears loud. Here's what the headlight looks like, powered on. This button operates the light switch. Shining on the ground on a bright day, there's how bright it looks. And if you wanna get into the advanced settings, just hold up and down at the same time, and you can get into function settings, where you can check stuff like screen brightness, the unit, startup mode. So with the seat on minimum height, here's what a 6'5" dude looks like getting on this bike. Boy, is that suspension nice. Dial down the front shock too. Yeah, this is gonna make for a nice cushy ride. Here's what my pedal stroke would look like on minimum seat height. So this bike could definitely fit a shorter individual. Throw it on max seat height. Seat comes up to almost the handlebars. Inseam of 34. Here's what this bike looks like on me. Seems like it's gonna be a pretty sweet ride. That suspension though, dude, the 4-link suspension on the DNM adjustable shock. is everything. Let's give it a try on pedal assist 5. Ready, go. So it tops us out at 20 miles per hour on throttle. Let's see what it can do in the real world. All right, dudes, let's take the Mokwheel Obsidian out for a ride. We'll bring the manual in case the top speed is only 20 miles an hour. There will definitely be a way to boost that up to 28. And of course, we'll start the Strava so we can track our official distance on this battery. Of course, the very first test we're gonna do on this bike is the 20% grade on pedal assist 5, throttle only. I weigh 200 pounds, ready, go. So it says eco mode, pedal assist 5, throttle only. Oh yeah, this thing's got good torque, good power, pulling it straight up to 20% grade, no pedaling at all. So that's pretty much what I would expect out of a 1000 watt rear hub motor. So pedal assist 0, throttle does not do anything, and pedaling does not do anything either. So I believe this bike weighs about 77 pounds. Definitely not one you're gonna wanna, have no assistance at all. There's just a little bit of weight there. But if your battery does run out for some reason, you could probably pedal this thing about 7 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and try out that pedal assist 1 now. So there is a torque sensor on this electric bike, meaning the harder you press on the pedals, the more power it will give you in proportion to how hard you're pressing. This is ideal if you're trying to buy an electric bike to get some exercise on. So pedal assist 1, the torque sensor is feeling pretty natural. It seems like I really actually don't have to put in too much effort at all to get up to about. So the pedal assist 1 will not cut us off at any particular speed, it appears. So let's try this from a stop on pedal assist 1, giving it just a little bit. Oh yeah, so it kicks it right in. Yeah, and it shows you your, is that the power or the speed? Your speed there on the right. And then once you're rolling, it'll give you like maybe a little bit, about a quarter second delay until it starts giving you power. On pedal assist 1, torque sensor, just gives you like a very minimal amount of power, and it's almost kind of like an on-off switch. You can't really tell a big difference in how hard you're pressing, and that's because the pedal assist is just giving you such a little amount of power. We'll try pedal assist 2 here in a minute, but first, can we see the screen through my polarized lenses? The answer is yes. So this display is pretty nice. It is color, and let's try pedal assist 2 now. So let's see what this will do. Seating position on this bike, it's a relatively compact cockpit, I'm noticing. I thought it might kind of stretch me out because these handlebars don't have like much of a rise and then I'll sweep back. However, I feel really comfortable and upright on this bike. So pedal assist 2 will let us go up to over 20 miles an hour. Now we're hitting 21, so this is probably a class 3 e-bike, despite the stamp saying class 2. Brakes need to bed in a little bit, I can tell right away. Generally, I like these Tektro brakes. We'll see how they work out a bit later. So let's try pedal assist 3. So now basically you just have to put in less effort, but the power will still output in proportion to how hard you're pedaling. And now we're hitting 25. Man, this full suspension's feeling nice. Let's do a little thumb throttle off the start here. Got a road cyclist ahead of us, only on pedal assist 3. So let's just give you an idea of like how fast an electric bike actually is. Like I'm really not even trying that hard, and man, going over those bumps, that felt nice and supple, dude. This 4-link suspension with the D&M shock is a very, very nice feel for a bike of this budget. So let's try pedal assist 4 now. And yeah, you just basically dials you up just a little bit, so you're getting basically how hard you're pressing on those pedals. You're just getting more juice for less input. And going around the corners, you can tell this thing's got a little bit of weight to it for sure. So it's not the most nimble bike, but definitely you feel planted with that rear suspension and all this weight and these big tires. Try it off-road here just a little bit. So front suspension, rear suspension, I mean, this thing is a very supple riding bike, man. You're gonna be riding in comfort like you're on a cloud. Let's bump this thing up to pedal assist 5. So pedal assist 5 here, we're gonna try and bump out here in traffic. We got a red light. So riding slow on pedal assist 5, I mean, you can just barely put in any effort at all, and it'll just kind of help you, just like minimally. On a cadence sensor bike, if you're on pedal assist 5 pedaling, it'd just be flooring it, giving you like full power. And speaking of full power, light is green here. We're gonna take this electric bike around this electric car and this acoustic skateboard. So we are hitting gear number 8 now. It's saying 31 on there. I feel like speedometer might be reading a bit high. We'll check here soon. But yeah, it's showing 30 miles an hour, and as you can see, we're pretty much cruising with traffic, dude. Let's see if throttle will give us power. No, so throttle will not hold you. You have to put in a little bit of effort on your own if you want to hit those higher speeds. Oh man, this is a nice feeling bike though, dude. These torque sensor ones, like I mentioned before, are excellent if you're looking for something to get a little bit of exercise on, a little bit of fitness, because it really encourages you to work for that power, whereas a lot of times cadence sensors one don't they don't really work so well for the fitness. So the lag on that torque sensor is really pretty minimal. And yeah, dude, this bike's got the juice, man. This is a very nice feeling electric bike. And we do have the big 20 amp hour 48 volt battery on there. Should get some pretty significant range out of that. Will we get 60 miles? Well, I'm not gonna ride 60 miles today, I'll tell you that. We're gonna do about 20, but we'll see what we have left when we get back. So let's get a little 0 to 20 acceleration run here. I weigh 200 pounds still. GPS in my left hand. Actually, we gotta move that over to the right hand because throttle is on the left. So throttle only, ready, go. It is on eco mode. I don't know if you can change those. 10, 15, 18, 19, 20, and it cuts you off hard right at 20 under throttle only. Very nice accelerating bike. It hits you with the power right away. I mean, I don't really know what else you would expect from, you know, an electric bicycle. If you're looking for, you know, a thrilling electric motorcycle, there are other options available. Now, the benefit of this electric bicycle is, you know, it's more legal than ones that might launch you harder than that. We'll verify the speedometer is correct here and the actual top speed of the bike in just a few. Bro, this dog is like blending into the shadows here. Don't get ran over, dude. Speaking of shadows, let's take this thing off-road just a little bit. So this suspension, as I mentioned a couple times already, is just a very nice suspension. You can adjust it to make it firmer or softer. Why would you want to make it firmer? You get a little more efficiency out of your pedaling, maybe, you know, less bob. But I'd say in general, most people looking to buy this bike, you're just probably going to want to run it on, you know, the softest setting, so it really just absorbs all those bumps in the pavement and just makes for a super cushy ride. You can get out here, get a little exercise and comfort, man. And speaking of comfort, on the Mokwheel bikes, they give you that little bump here. You know, on the ergonomic grips, which are already comfortable, but I kind of like it, man. It's growing on me. At first, you know, the first couple of Mokwheel bikes I reviewed, I thought was, you know, a little weird, a little different. It is different for sure. Kind of helps your palm just kind of stick on those grips a little better though. So let's say you catch yourself a little tailwind, hit some ideal circumstances here. Let's do a top speed run. Shift through the gears here. Got the torque sensor. We'll get out the GPS, see what it says here. So it is really nice that this bike does have 8 gears, which allows you to pedal a little bit faster, keep up with the pedaling a little bit better than typical e-bikes that only have 7 gears or less. Simi car is showing 30 here on my GPS and 30.31. So speedometer is pretty darn close. This bike definitely, oh, 31 there, nice. So this bike is definitely a little bit faster than the typical 750 watt electric bike I review. They typically top out at about 28. Man, this thing feels good, dude. And we got that big battery on there, so we should see some pretty big range. We'll find out. So to comment on that riding position again, I'm noticing, you know, the stem is pretty short there, which I appreciate. If you did want to stretch this thing out a little bit more, you could put a slightly longer stem on there. It'll just help you put some more power down to the pedals, get in a more aggressive riding position. I personally really appreciate the upright riding position because more comfortable and relaxed, and we'll just let the bike do the power, let the bike do the work. We get some exercise in. Dang, dude, that tight con. Is that how you say that? So to comment on the torque sensor just a little bit more, I just want to emphasize this torque sensor is not going to be quite as buttery smooth as a mid-drive torque sensor, like what you would find on like the Bafang M600. Now, if you do get a mid-drive, you got to keep in mind that's going to be a much more expensive style electric bike. There's a whole nother set of issues and trade-offs associated with the mid-drive motor. This torque sensor is pretty smooth, but on the low end, similar to other Mokwheel bikes I've tried, when I'm just kind of barely putting in any pedaling power at all, you know, about like 5 pounds of force on the pedal or less, it doesn't really quite pick up on those like very, very minimal inputs. Or I guess what I should say is sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. Only when I'm pedaling like very, very, very lightly. But once I start pedaling, you know, about 4 or 5 pounds of pressure on the pedals, then that torque sensor becomes a lot more responsive. And yeah, man, see, I'm pressing harder on the pedals now, and it's whipping up that power quite a lot more. Man, dude, this bike is surprisingly fast. I was not expecting this bike to be whipping like this. So of course, I have been running this thing on pedal assist 5. Let's dial it down just a little bit here. Pedal assist 3. Oh yeah, pedal assist 3. This gives you a much more reasonable level of power here. We'll get out there and try it on the flat sand here in just a bit. Let's bump this thing back up to pedal assist 5 and cut a little bit of speed, downshift a few gears, and see what it can do going up the hill in the sand. Oh yeah, torque sensor. You got this, Mokwheel. Oh yeah. Just barely. A lot of bikes cannot do that. Almost no bikes can really do that, honestly. And then this is some pretty harsh riding right here. But like I said, you know, that rear suspension, man, It's pretty freaking nice. Watch out, seagulls coming through. Whew, nice little morning ride out here, man. It's chilling, us out here. Everybody get some exercise in out here today. I'm joining you today at this torque sensor. Dude, this chick is chucking some threes. Looking through the manual here, I see it does actually offer air chamber PSI based on the weight of the rider. That'll help you set it up. And as mentioned before, the maximum payload is 400 pounds on this bike. So we're gonna get out here and whip it on the sand just a little bit. We'll see how it performs. I wish I could get it off of the eco mode. I don't, oh wait. It automatically does it looks like. So I had it on power. So downshift a few gears here and we're gonna try and get through this. So 26-inch tall tires, as I mentioned, 4-inch wide knobby tires is like the best hope you can have for really getting through really tough sand like this. And yeah, dude, this bike's got plenty of power, man. You know, an all-wheel drive electric bike would do better than this, but this is a very powerful bike. Oh yeah, full suspension. I was not expecting that. Whoa, what has happened to the shoreline down here, dude? I haven't been over here in a minute and I can see the waves have really affected the slope. We're gonna have to get back up this. And we do have the fenders on this e-bike, so no sand is kicking up and hitting us. And this thing is whipping out here, dude. 20 miles an hour, just hardly been pedaling. Let's see if I can get up this. Oh yeah, dude, we're getting up this. Dude, this is a pretty solid performing bike. Let's see if we can get back through the sand. It gets really loose over here. And yeah, dude, this thing's pretty strong. Trying to lean my weight back to keep the power going down. I do have it on pedal assist 5. Whew, putting in a little bit of work here. I'm gonna just get on that throttle. Whoa, losing my balance. I lost my balance just a little bit. And yeah, dude, I feel like we can just keep going on this sand, man. Ugh, lost my balance there just a little bit. Pretty powerful bike, man. If you're looking for something specifically to ride on sand, I'd recommend a dual motor e-bike for that. But you know, this thing can definitely whip through that pretty good. So let's go try an off-road hill. I'm a little bit nervous to try this hill because the last bike I tried on it literally broke and I had to ride it home with no motor. That's not the hill I'm talking about. So we have this thing on PAS 5 and I don't have high hopes honestly, but we'll give it a try, see what we can get going on here. Oh, I'm throttle only. Almost to the top, dude. Not bad really at all. I didn't feel comfortable. It's really a skill thing. I feel like if you had the skill, you'd be able to do this. Feel a little bit off-roading the bike like this. Oh yeah, man. Hop the curbs. So we'll head over to the California incline and test the brakes and see what the final range is. We're gonna ride it to the top of that cliff right there. It's an 85-foot climb and the slope of that hill is about 12%. Rolling into the base of the California incline, the loop-de-loop here. I can notice that the handling on these handlebars it's like more direct than a set of handlebars that is like more curved back and more relaxed. Since they are like flat bars, this thing can climb this hill easily under throttle only. But for like navigating little tight turns like this, you know, the tires are heavy, but we'll do a full throttle here. The steering here is pretty nice. Going 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and it cuts you off under throttle right at about 19.8. So of course you could start to pedal a little bit on your own, put in your own power, and obviously you could probably hit high 20s going up this hill. It's a good hill climber. And as you know, we were just down there on the bike path, so we'll go test the brakes and see what the final range is. Wonder how fast this bike could actually go going down the California incline. Man, dude, this thing whips. Showing 32.3 on the dash, 33. Now would probably be a good time to think about the 180mm Tektro hydraulic brakes. And yeah, they feel, you know, they feel good as ever, man. I like these Tektro hydraulic brakes. I've seen them on a lot of bikes. So hydraulic brakes, they feel more smooth than mechanical brakes. Mechanical brakes are the ones that have like the little steel cable that runs. Hydraulic has like hydraulic fluid in the line, and then the rotor size is 180mm. So basically they're smooth and strong. It's perfectly sufficient for a bike that weighs 77 pounds. So let's say you get yourself in a bit of a pinch and you need to stop quickly from about 20 miles an hour. Here's how the hydraulic brakes perform. Yeah, they're good, dude. You do have a little bit of weight with this bike because it is 77 pounds, full suspension, big battery. So final thoughts on the Mokwheel Obsidian, then we'll head home, check the final range. I mean, in general, this is a big bike, big suspension, big battery. We should get some pretty good range out of this thing. Yeah, man, you could do a lot on this bike. And with that torque sensor, it's very smooth, natural feel. In general, you know, this is a good bike, and along with all the other bigness of this bike, it also has a pretty big price tag. Current list price is $2,300 on sale. Normal MSRP is, I think, $2,900 bucks. Whatever the best price is, you can find in the link below this video in the description box. If you did want to grab one of these, if you bought through the link down below, of course, that would help support my reviews here on this channel, and I greatly appreciate your support. This is definitely not, you know, like the most cheap electric bike. There's definitely a lot of stuff out there. You could definitely spend a lot more money on an electric bike. I do think that your money does go pretty far with this one, especially with that rear suspension and the powertrain on this bike. Are there more powerful bikes? Yes. Are they legal? No. This is pretty much the maximum you're going to get for a class 3 electric bike. All around, it's a great bike. I'm really enjoying my time with this one. I mean, nothing really beats a bike that you can just ride out on the sand, dude. It puts a smile on your face. Let's head on home, see what the final range is. Dang, dude, there's something bad happening over here. It smells like a house is burning down. Bro, let's put this full suspension to the test here. Oh yeah, big bike, throttle only. I probably should not be breathing this. There's a fire crew. Oh yeah, that is a boat on fire. A small little boat sneaking in. I don't think I should be going in here, but what are they gonna do? They're filming this. I wonder if this is like a drill. Oh yeah. Oh, maybe this is some sort of like drill or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just out here practicing, burning stuff down. All right, dudes, just crossed over 19 miles, hour and a half of ride time. It's showing 4 out of 5 bars on the battery. So, you know, the way I ride, being 200 pounds, whipping through the sand like that, of course, you can expect a little bit of decreased range, and I was on pedal assist 5 pretty much all day. You know, I pedaled a little bit. The torque sensor on this bike is pretty nice. I think that the way I ride this bike, I'd probably end up getting 35, 45 miles of range. Could I get 60 miles of range? Yes, if I, you know, put in a little bit of work and wasn't riding on the sand and stuff. Overall feelings on this bike, this is a very nice riding bike. If you're looking for something that's gonna cruise in like ultra comfort riding on the road or off-road, the full suspension on this bike is excellent. And also obviously, you know, class 3 pretty much legality. So it's not like an illegal electric bike. Anyway, if you want to grab one, buy through the link below in the description box. Of course, that would help support my reviews and give you the best price as well. Win-win situation. However, if this is not the kind of bike you're looking for, watch this video next and I'll catch you over there.